dear students, the continuous time Fourier series. See, series means we will be referring the periodic signals only, and continuous time signal means x of t. So we will be given x of t, continuous time signal, that to periodic signal. Finding CTFS is nothing but to find the Fourier coefficients. The Fourier coefficients is represented as x of k. Okay, so here the input is periodic, but the transform or the series what we are going to get, that is the Fourier series. Why I am saying the transform? Because from time domain to frequency domain you are transforming, okay, using Fourier series. So this is actually non-periodic, okay, that you remember. Okay, now so to convert time domain signal into frequency domain, so we will be using your analysis equation. The analysis equation is given by x of k 1 by t integration over the period, okay, x of t e to the power of minus j k omega naught t dt. Okay, so if time domain signal is given, if you want to find out the Fourier coefficients or Fourier series coefficients, then we will be using this equation. This is known as analysis equation. So if I want to get back my x of t using this Fourier coefficients, that is if I want to that means I have given x of k, and if I want to find out x of t means, then the inverse we have to do, that is done by using synthesis equation. So that equation is given by the synthesis equation. X of t is equal to summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. So x of k e to the power of j k omega naught t. Okay, and here your k is from 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 1. So and n is also from 0, 1, 2 to n minus 1. Okay, so here n is not there. So since we are discussing only your continuous time signals, okay, here it is t, and this is from 0 to the period, fundamental period t, that is all the values between 0 and t. Okay, and these are the two important definitions for continuous time Fourier series. So the derivation of this is not there for you, only the definitions, the analysis equation and the synthesis equation. Now first before learning the properties of CTFS, first we should understand, so what are the required condition for the existence of this Fourier series. So that is defined by the convergence of Fourier series, which we call it as Dirichlet conditions. Okay, so the Fourier series is convergent if the signal x of t satisfies the sum of the conditions. These conditions are called as Dirichlet conditions, that is the convergence. Convergence means what? Whenever we calculate the Fourier coefficients, that should be a converging one, that is less than infinite value, which are very useful. So for that to happen, the x of t should have the following four properties. What are those properties? The single valued property, finite discontinuities, finite peaks, and absolutely integrability. Single valued means what? So it must have only one value at any time instant within the interval. See, in the definition I told you, so the t can take value between 0 to this t. This is the period. Okay, between this, for at any time it should contain only one value. That means at time t is equal to 0.1 second means at 0.1 second it should must have only one value. So that is single valued property. Finite discontinuities means, so x of should have at the most finite number of discontinuities in the interval. Because of this, signal can be represented mathematically. So between 0 and t you will be having many values, isn't it, in terms of 0.1, 0.001 like that. So all those discontinuities should be a finite number. Next, finite peak. The x of t should have finite number of maxima and minima in the interval. So maximum values, minimum values, those peaks should also be a finite. Next, absolutely integrable means whenever you integrate all those values, that should be less than infinite. If your x of t possesses all these points means, then we say the Fourier series what we calculate using this x of t is a convergent one. See, all the above conditions are sufficient but not necessary conditions for Fourier series to represent. So most of the physical signals satisfy the above conditions. So these are the important discrete conditions one should know whenever you do the Fourier series analysis. Okay, so the next we are going to learn about the properties of Fourier series. So there are 9 properties: linearity, time shift, which is also known as translation, frequency shift, scaling, time differentiation, convolution, modulation or multiplication, Parseval's theorem, symmetry. See, for each property we will be having a statement, okay, and you should learn the proof of all these 9 properties, okay, and based on these properties we will calculate the Fourier series coefficients, okay, using the analysis equation. So I'll start with your linearity. So linearity means what? If x of t, okay, is having a Fourier series with omega naught is what? Angular frequency, radians per second. So x of t, if it is converted into x of k, x of t signal is having Fourier series coefficient x of k. This is small letter, this is capital. Remember the notations. And we will take one more periodic signal y of t, and if it is having a Fourier series y of k, then the linearity property says that suppose we have a z of t, a x of t plus b y of t. See here, scaling property and additive property. Then the Fourier coefficient, Fourier series coefficient of this z of t will be what? Z of k. Okay, what is the Fourier series expression? X of k, capital X of k. For y of t it is y of k. So that coefficients are again multiplied by this a and b. So z of k is equal to a x of k plus b y of k. So here both x of t and y of t have the same fundamental period. T is equal to 2 pi by omega naught, that is the radians per second. So this is the statement for linearity. So Fourier series obeys this linearity property. Okay, now first we will see the definitions, then we will go for the proof. Next, time shift property. In the time shift property we will take the same example, x of that means same condition. X of t is having Fourier series x of k. Then suppose if this x of t is shifted in time, x of t minus t naught means then the Fourier series representation, okay, it consists of x of k but multiplied by a value, what? Y value, that is the exponential value. That value is e to the power of minus jk omega naught t naught. This t naught is this. That means this is the time domain representation. When you do the frequency domain representation, so the transform, the series coefficients are multiplied with an exponential. Next, frequency shift. Frequency shift means again x of t is the time domain signal. Suppose if it is having the Fourier series, fs means Fourier series with angular frequency omega naught, then frequency shift means what? Here your x of t time domain signal is multiplied by a coefficient, what? Exponential. Okay, so that when you multiply that we call it as a frequency shift. By what you are multiplying? J, k naught, w naught t. So if you calculate the Fourier series for this, you will be getting the time, the frequency shift in the frequency domain, x of k minus k naught. See here, in the time shift, time is shifted. So here x of k for Fourier series is multiplied by exponential. So in the frequency shift, here there is a frequency shift. In that case, what will be multiplied by the time domain signal? The positive coefficient, that is here you can observe it is minus jk and here e to the power of plus jk. So multiplied by the positive exponential and here it is multiplied by the power value is negative. And the scaling, here we will consider the time scaling property. Okay, x of t is having a Fourier series. So z of t is equal to x of at. At means here the time scaling. If you perform time scaling signal or if you have a time scaled signal, so the Fourier series will be what? It is just the x of k only, but provided the scaling factor should be greater than 0. If it is not greater than 0, okay, positive value, then we can't have the scaling value. Okay, so these points I'll discuss when we do the proof. The time differentiation. See, x of t is time domain signal, it's having Fourier series x of k. So if you differentiate, that means then the x of k, the Fourier series is multiplied by a value jk omega naught. Next, the convolution. So two signals we have taken, two Fourier series you have. So if you perform the convolution of these two signals, since we are considering the periodic signals here, so this is known as the periodic convolution. So when you do the convolution in time domain, that is equivalent to multiplication of their Fourier series coefficients in the frequency domain along with multiplied by a period, that is t. Convolution in time domain is equal to multiplication of their Fourier series coefficients. So now the reverse of that, modulation. Suppose if I have two signals x of t, y of t with the Fourier series coefficients, suppose in time domain if I multiply, means the equivalent in the frequency domain is what? The Fourier series coefficients you have, and we are going to perform the convolution. Multiplication is nothing but modulation here. Okay, multiplication or modulation in time domain is equivalent to convolution. Here in the time domain, convolution is equivalent to multiplication or modulation in frequency domain. The next one and the important one is the Parseval's theorem. See, this Parseval's theorem statement will help you to tell about the energy of the signal. X of t is a periodic signal with Fourier series coefficients. Then the Parseval's theorem is defined by, this is LHS, this is RHS. This represents the energy of the signal. Okay, so this statement is a standard theorem. The usage of this theorem is to find the energy of the signal. And the last one is the symmetry property. Symmetry property is only the statement, no proof for that. So if x of t is real, then the conjugate of the Fourier series coefficients is x of minus k. If x of t is real and even, then the imaginary part will be 0. If x of t is real and odd, then the real part is 0. Okay, real and even, imaginary part is 0. Real and odd, real part is 0. So this is the overview of the properties. In the next video session, we will see the proof for up to Parseval's theorem. Thank you.